Johannes is over there clicking around as I'm doing this. But I want to thank you for tuning into the first episode of the Big Truth Podcast for 2024. For everyone that's got a lot of listeners, I know that have been listening since episode 1. So for the last couple of years, I want to thank you for staying along for the ride. If you want to support the show, make sure you subscribe, give it a like, give it a review wherever you're listening. And if you want to further support, check us out at patreon.com/bigtruth. If you got a motorcycle or into motorcycles or into motorcycle-related swag, check us out at choppahead.com, CHOPPAHEAD. It's my motorcycle shop. It's a brick and mortar motorcycle shop with a parts counter, a shop in the back, just a retail area. So whatever you need. You need a helmet, you need gloves, you need sweatshirt, whatever. We got a whole line of apparel. So even if you don't got a bike, you can check us out. Give us a call, choppahead.com, or give us a call at 508-995-6764 if you need service done on your bike. We do service, repair, custom work, whatever you need. Anything from an oil change to a full custom bike built. So anything in between that, we're you guys. We got everything sitting here from a 1941 that we're doing a restoration on to the 2023 that we're doing work on. So all year Harleys, we're in it. 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. And, just bigtruthpodcast.com. And, we're just going to launch into this right now.
The Big Truth Podcast. Letting down the hatches! Get ready!
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast, the first episode of 2024, and to go with the general theme of that, renewing and New Year's and all that stuff. I got my man Johannes on, who you might know as the Crown Prince of Friesland. Did I say it right? Friesland?
You did. Yes, you did.
Which is a sub region of the Netherlands.
It's the best region of the
Netherlands. I'm not saying sub is in. I'm not putting any weight on it. I'm just saying it's a principality of the Netherlands.
Correct.
And according to some, the top region of the Netherlands.
Yeah, according to 9 out of the 10 people, they're like being like, yep, Friesland above.
Yeah, known for Frisian horses.
Yep, wooden shoes,
and Johannes. All right. And check the show out, and you can see the set of authentic Friesland-made shoes that Johannes had made for me in the shop and at Shop Ahead.
And you got the little flags on your little birthday donut.
Yeah, it's the day after my birthday, and so Johannes brought me some birthday donuts with the Friesland flags on it, and we had a
real Frisian team. We'll make you an honorary Frisian soon. Yeah.
Shout out to Kane's Donuts and the North Shore of Massachusetts, a staple up there. For the people that are a little more discerning than Dunkin' Donuts, you know what I mean? That's a North Shore thing. We're in the south coast of Massachusetts, so about
how far is the coast from here?
2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. We're on
for real.
Yeah.
Oh well, shit.
From the Dipper, it's right across the street. Like the second floor apartment is a water view apartment.
Damn. So a couple of years from now, you have water-free property.
Yeah. No, I have waterfront property now. It's not going to creep up any closer. It's like it's already. It's not waterfront. It's across the street.
That's true.
But the train station will be in between us. So hopefully, me and Packer are doing a lot better in a year or two. Right.
There you go. We can make it a thing that New Year's dive in front of the Dipper.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to jump into that.
Well, that's why you're the organizer, so you don't have to do it. You have other idiots doing it.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard before, Johannes is a tattoo artist and a world internationally known tattoo artist, and travels a lot and tattoos all over the place, and also is one of the owners of a company called the Tattoo Flash Collective, which is becoming an official sponsor of the podcast this year. So I want to thank you on board for that. But not only that, Johannes is actually the first guest on the podcast ever.
Yep. And number 100 too, right?
I don't know what the other second one
Yeah.
was. You were wedged in there somewhere in between. But in the first person to be on 3 times.
There you go.
This is your third appearance. 3 strikes, you're out. Done.
Yeah.
After this.
That's it. No more.
Yeah.
That's why we started to sponsor. Like, we're like, all right, let's do the sponsorship so you don't have to talk to me anymore after this.
I'm just kidding. But, the outside of the M4, obviously Packer and Joe and Mark and everyone and Danny and stuff been on a bunch. But the individual one-on-one gets you the first one to come back for a third appearance. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, Johannes rides around with us. He's got like 4 bikes. Fucking, it's everything this podcast is about. Fucking tattoos, fucking motorcycles, fucking punk rock stuff, and weird shit.
I'm hitting all 4.
Yeah, weird ass fucking Dutch bastard.
Yeah, there
with
you
a
go.
gold fetish.
Well, I'm happy to be here for a third time. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. It's weird because I don't know. I wasn't even thinking about the setup on this table. It's like you're like fucking 5 miles away. The only time I set up the table like this was mid-COVID when Ian came on, Ian McFarlane. And he was, he's a kind of anxious dude, so he's like, "Oh, we gotta
further away."
Yeah, so we did it. We had the garage door open. This was like in the midst of it, like when no one knew what was really going on, and
I like this. This feels kind of like a Nord Viking kind of like
A long
long table, where you sit at one end, I sit at the other end, and
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what's been going on, dude? Like, the tattoo, I know, how long has it been since you left working for other people and you started your own studio? Is it a year or two now?
No, it's like 4 years this year.
It's 4 years?
It's 4 years. So I just looked at my pictures and I looked at the building that I'm in November 2019. March 2020, I signed the lease and I started rebuilding, and then I was ready to open, and they were like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen."
Yeah, that's
so,
right.
like the first 4 months, basically was like just shut down.
Yeah.
Which it was super stressful, but obviously it worked out.
Let you build it out.
It gave me 4 months to build it out rather than my idea was first is to go still work in the city at Good Faith Tattoo, then just come back home and just work in my hours off to just rebuild the shop, just get it to a point where it would pass inspection. But this just gave me just 4 months the time. So if you see it, like, because if the pandemic taught me anything, is I can't sit still. I can't be in the house. So luckily I had the shop as a project. So I would just go in by myself and I would just smoke a bunch of weed and just lay there, and I just painted every pipe on the ceiling because the shop was ready, but I still had like 3 months left of doing absolutely nothing.
3 months to spruce it up.
Yeah. So like I painted every like little thing that I just could. And for the rest, I just had time, like obviously like to do a bunch of paintings and all that. But it's been 4 years. Next year is going to be 5 years. I haven't had an opening party or anything yet, just because it was just like weird. And then
so you should just wait till 5 years and do a 5-year party, right?
Yeah, it's like 5 years. Like next year is 5 year of the tattoo shop. The year after that, it's 10 years of Tattoo Flash Collective. So I'm debating if we want to do something like combined or if we're just say, fuck it, we'll just do 2 parties. Like, the Tattoo Flash Collective one has like a potential to just be a little bigger because it doesn't need to be done in Boston. It can just be on the road going to tattoo shop or tattoo conventions, basically. But yeah, the shop one, I want to do something because there's a lot of people that haven't seen the shop yet. And it's just been 5 years. It's been flying by. It's like absolutely insanity how fast it went.
What's insanity to me is that like I literally thought it was a year or two, and it's still like, and I'm sure this is the same thing for a lot of people, like the 3 years of weirdness, you know what I mean, of lockdowns and shutdowns and whatever's, some of that time just doesn't even register to me. Like, because half of it is like, man, time's flying and I don't even realize it. But it's like, there's 3 years of like fucking dude, that like.
Yeah, you could barely do anything.
Yeah.
Or just everything was just different.
Everything was just like 3 years on pause.
Yeah.
And so it's like, everything seems like, time is like very weird for me right now, and I don't know if it's like early dementia or something, but it's like I'm like, bro,
Well, you're a year older.
That was like last year, man, and then I was like, no, that was like 4 years ago. Like time's just like speeding up and taking off,
Yeah.
dude. And it's
Well, I think that we're
very
still
bizarre.
feeling the effects on all of it, right? It's just like been crazy just how fast everything's been going. I had like ideas of the shop, how I wanted things to do, and you were either not allowed or it was just there was just no time for it, and just 4 years just flew by. Like
Yeah.
it's like crazy. So I'm still there by myself. The idea was never
because I know
to
you
just-
were like that's the other reason why I don't feel like it's been that long, because I know you were like, I'm gonna set it up, do a year or two by myself, and then bring someone else in, and it's like that's why I'm like, oh yeah, it's only been like a year or two, right?
Yeah, and that's like crazy, and I still want to, but obviously I want to just not just hire the first person that just knocks on the door. It's like I have a certain vision that I want the shop to be and do good tattoos and all that, and it's not really a walk-in shop, but I don't want it to be a private studio too, so I'm kind of flying
Some weird-
in between now.
Yeah, some gray zone.
But there's a shortage of really good tattooers that don't have a spot yet. And because I got so fortunate with my clientele that I have a really strong clientele to where I'm booking out a couple of months in advance. So in 4 years, I have never done a single walk-in in the shop.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
now if you want to take on another tattooer, it's kind of starting completely anew because like nobody...
Yeah, if they don't have a clientele, you don't have a walk. It's a weird thing. That's how it is with us at Atomic. Like, because Dan's like booked out like almost a fucking year at this point, and so there's no time for walk-ins. We don't even answer the phone there half the time anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
And eventually people stop calling, or
Yeah.
they call and they ask for a walk-in, and I'm like, okay, well, I can do a walk-in if you come walk in June and kind of make an appointment.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not really
make an
walk-in.
appointment now,
like-
then walk your ass in June. Yeah, that's fine.
So it is a little bit more difficult because you either need to have a tattoo artist that has clients already, or I just need to shift my my ideas and my energy a little bit towards creating that, like the North Shore knows that we're doing walk-ins,
Yeah,
although
you
that
would-
could be on certain days. But Instagram is a big thing, obviously, that I need to jump back on. And I took a social media break on the tattoo part. So yeah, I would have to start that back up. And
Yeah, I don't feel like that would be hard to do. Like it would take you a little while to get back up in the algorithms, I think. And I still don't, like, I act like I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea. Like, I'll do one post on one day and it gets like way crazy engagement and it's a dumbass post. And then I'll do one like, all right, this is like an important one. And it's like, it gets very limited engagement. And it's like, I know there's science. There's people whose whole job is to like schedule when you're posting stuff to
Yeah.
reach optimal people and doing it this way. Like, oh, you can't even do a post anymore. You got to do a reel now. You can't even do it was a story first. Was like,
gotta
is what
show your
hit, and now
face.
it's gonna steal. Yeah, and I'm like, bro, I'm not one of those like super narcissistic people that have to show my face. They're like, no, but you gotta like you. It has to be you talking and saying something. I'm like, I'll post audio of the podcast. That's close enough. Like, no one see this. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, but like, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck to talk. Like, if I'm doing it, I'm just gonna rant and it's gonna be like some Archie Bunker shit, and then like no one's gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, no one's gonna
exactly.
like it. But you hit on something important, dude. Like, I don't know what happened during the time of, you know, the weird times, we'll say, those 3 years. But like it used to be a lot easier to find people to work. And
Yes.
it's like across every industry, bro. Like Chophead, like we've been trying to get another tech for a long time, and we'll get like super inexperienced guys that want to come in, which is cool. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like I need someone that's ready to fucking rock. You know what I mean? And it's like that with the tattoo. Like we have Fred Smith coming in, but he keeps having issues where he can't physically get into the
Fred is Fred.
Fred
He's
is
awesome.
Fred. If you know Fred, then you know it's funny. It was awesome when he still had his license for a little while and he was ripping in on his shovel head chopper every day and fucking whatever. But, you know, he's been having issues with licenses and transportation. So, but like to try and find someone now, there's no shortage of like people that are like 100% like just like scratchers and kitchen wizards that are still doing it. But like, it seems like good artists, either like people got out of the trade or they, you know, or they have their home. Like your best bet is like you find some guy that like has, or some gal that for some reason wants to move to the Boston area and needs a home. Like that's like,
But
you're going to
that-
be your
that-
best bet. Like,
That's like really difficult too, right?
but then they don't have the clientele locally. but they probably have the name.
And
know
you're
what I mean?
paying
So-
Boston prices in rent,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like if you come from like wherever your rent is like maybe $1,000 and you want to like start living in Boston,
Forget it,
like
yeah.
with no clientele. So there's a really short or small influx of like new tattooers moving to the Boston area.
Yeah.
And because like I think that if you decide to move and you want to make a name of yourself in tattooing and you want to like learn more, get bigger, there's amazing tattoo shops in Boston where you can do that. But it ain't New York. It ain't San Francisco. It seems that like if an artist makes a choice to like take that extra step in tattooing, New York seems to be a easier step because of just
It's more.
there's more, it's easier to like, or easier, it's working hard, but like there's more good shops, and the rent compared to Boston and New York is not that much difference anymore. So Boston,
And you just make more money in New York. Like,
oh
New
yeah,
York
the
is-
hourly rate is higher.
the hourly, and there's just more people. There's
Yeah.
more. There's just physically more people around, so you have more business.
And I'm not in the city, right? I'm in Lynn, so it's not that it's like far, but like it's like you're not getting those college kids, right?
Yeah,
like
but you have enough of a name and enough of a pedigree, and you've been doing it long enough where you have a clientele that's going to come to you no matter. They'll drive 3 hours to come to you. You know what I mean?
yeah, I hit the New England like market. I have people from Connecticut and like
Yeah, of
Vermont
course.
and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of that. But it's just like, whoever you get in the shop, that's just obviously a little bit of a difficult one, being like, do they have the pull? So if I'm not going with like directly an artist, I would totally like love the idea of having just more guest artists coming through, because obviously through my travels, through like whatever subcultures we're in, we are knowing so many people that like
And
have
plus,
the
your
draw.
existing clients would probably love to get
Oh,
tattooed by it,
absolutely.
because a lot of people are collectors and they want to get work from different people.
Oh, absolutely. And that like just like takes a little bit of the stress on my end away too, that if you want to have a dagger and a skull, that like you don't want to wait till like August to get an
Yeah.
appointment. Now you can just like being like, okay, well next week we have so and so guesting, and
They can get you in next week.
they can get you in next week. So it's just it takes a long time to set that up to get like a regular guest artist. Also because
Plus,
I travel quite a bit, so I obviously have to be there if
Yeah,
a guest
yeah,
artist
sure.
comes. So it's just kind of like a logistic thing.
Plus, a lot of people that guest artists are, have a name and like probably would have their own clientele like waiting for them in that city. Like if they're like, oh, I'm going to be in Boston in July, like I got a week. Like you want to, you know what I mean? I'm sure they'll help. A lot of guys or gals will book themselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and be great for the shop, and be great for me too, because like it's like all my whole career I've been just working with alongside multiple artists, and I'm just like by myself now, which I've been loving, but like I do miss that interaction of like having another tattooer there,
Yeah,
just
fucking
being like,
around.
hey man, like what would you do in this little area, like and
or just
like,
ball busting and hanging out and
talking shit.
talking shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, like, and I'm sure we probably talked about this on one of the other appearances, but I don't care. I'll beat this to death with a hammer. Changes in like the world of tattooing in regards to like tattoo culture and whatnot. Like, I see this like in all our little subgenres of subculture things that we're into, like whether it's like punk or hardcore or motorcycles, definitely, and like tattooing. Do you see like a difference, like still in like what are the differences now than like it was like 10 years ago? Like, and it's like, like, so like for instance, and I'm not saying tattooing is the same way, but I get a glimpse of it like with whatever, but like, I feel like more and more often it's become a little more mainstream because all the TV shows gets the culture of it's watered down. No one wants to do a proper apprenticeship and shit anymore. People are a little more easily hurt by words than they used to be. Like there's thinner skin, and everyone gets tattooed with cream now instead of just sucking it up and taking it. Like I noticed in the motorcycle like world, it's been fucking watered down, dude. And it's like all this shit used to be the last bastion of like fucking. Just rugged, like, fucking subculture shit. Like, earn your place. If you don't belong, fucking that shit. And now it's going to be like, no, accept everybody, and this is cool, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, sometimes I find it frustrating, especially in the motorcycle world, because I take shit personally, like, and I'm like, because a lot of fucking, soft motherfuckers around now, and or just just fucking meatballs or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
You have that like in tattooing. Obviously, like if we talk about tattooing, it's like it's bigger than it has ever been. It's so much bigger. Like
tattoo shops used to be pirate dens. You know what I mean? And now it's like fucking walking into Starbucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
it's all fancy. It's just like some of them look like dental offices.
Yeah,
and all
or like a salon. Yeah, some kind of like salon type.
But I've been struggling with that. Like 'cause I think that like social media. Like I don't think we're going back to those times of like just tattoo shops being that. Or motorcycle shops being like that.
Oh, this one still is.
But like, and that's like where it's like.
But it works against us, and I'm very well aware of that, right?
Well, and that's like sucks, right? It's like being like, okay, do you want to go with it? Because like, I feel that like the magic is still there. You just have to look for it a little bit more. And because of social media, you see way more. We're getting like way too much information in, the reason why I took a break on social media, it was just like, I couldn't see the joy anymore in things because it's just, you get overwhelmed with everything. You get pissed off on like the tattoos that are being done that like are not in my eyes, they're just not sustainable or they're not tattoos that will look good. It's thank you because at least I can send them to you for laser removal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I'll do a cover up kind of thing. But then I was like, all right. Well,
and you know what? The funny thing is some of those tattoos, like there's people that are just not technically proficient, but they're good at marketing themselves. And so they do these like fucking whack ass tattoos. And I'm like, and they're charging people like $500. I'm like, what? I was like, Dan will do your whole fucking leg.
Did you see the whole machine that does tattoos now where it's just like, it's not even a person. It's like an actual little machine. I'll show you after this podcast. Boy. There's a little video and it was on the news. It's just like, but it's like, it's.
Or there's like I think what you were talking about is all like the super flowery color stuff with no outlines where it's looks fucking great right now. Check it again in 5 years.
5 years, 5
no
minutes.
No outline to hold it in.
No, this is just like, I guess it's just like a machine that like just does the tattoo for you. And it's just like, but it's such detailed tattoos that look amazing, but they're not going to hold up. Right? Like the whole reason why, like, it's like, okay, well, you're learning to tattoo faster now than you ever did, right? It took me a long time just because I'm a half a retard and it takes me fucking twice as long.
You even said that half retardedly. I'm going to we're 21 minutes in. I got to find that. I'm going to use that as a sound clip.
But like it takes me longer. So a lot of people like you learn how to tattoo a lot faster now, right? Because like you don't need to mix your inks anymore. You don't need to like. I was like at the tail end.
You were making your needles and like
where I needed
eyeballing the needles with monocles to look for burrs and shit. Like,
yeah, and it's like I was at the tail end of that to where I didn't really have to do it, but like it was still a rite of passage to where you just like learn how to do it.
Yeah, because you want to learn the trade.
Exactly, and it's like
honor
people
the old
just
ways.
Don't do that anymore because there's no reason to like mix your own ink. Well, ink maybe, but like to solder your own needle, like unless you're really passionate about it. But like the whole 10 years is
people don't even know how to draw or paint anymore because they just do it on that iPad with that app there. And
it's just like the Procreate app,
which is cool. I feel like
use it to your advantage.
100% useful tool, but you should have the fundamentals of learning how to draw and paint and do all the shit that you need to do a good tattoo.
And that's like I think where the difficult thing is because it's like you and I obviously like you get. I think that like when everything shifts is like when you're starting in something because you're passionate about it and you make some money.
Yeah.
To where now people seem to get in it for the money.
Yeah.
And the passion is kind of gone. And not with everybody.
Yeah,
but
like, no, I see it. There's a lot of motherfuckers that get into it because they're fucking lazy asses and they're like, oh shit, I can just fucking scribble on skin and make fucking $150 an hour.
Dude, it's amazing.
And blah, blah, blah. But like, you ain't getting no respect from dudes that are heavy hitters, or girls that are heavy hitters. Like if this is the takeaway from all this, and I'm not shutting you off. It's like if you want to do something, especially that's involved in one of these subcultures that have a long history, that was a long hidden history. Like years ago, if you want to know how to tattoo, like you had to go apprentice with someone. They made you scrub the toilets and fucking. You didn't even pick up tattoo gun for like
A year, 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, like you were doing grunt work. And I'm not saying it has to be like that, but like that's how you learned something. You developed more of a respect and more of a love for it, the craft and the trade of it, because you did all the work to get it. Whatever you're given, you don't respect as much as whatever the fuck you earned. And so go people getting into this stuff, do it the right way. It's cool. It's way cooler, and you'll have way more respect, and you'll do way better in the future with it, whether it's building custom motorcycles or tattooing.
And it's longer,
or
right?
anything.
Like
it's going to
it's
take
a longer
you
life for you to
Yeah.
in the tattoo world as well. Because if you get into tattooing or motorcycles and all that for quick cash, well, you're going to be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, yes, like some of these like people that learn how to tattoo, they're amazing tattooers. They are even better like promoters. They can promote themselves.
Yeah.
They're good
Well,
on social media.
And that's always been
But
the
like,
thing with
it's
art,
not
right?
sustainable. Like, do you have clients that like have lasted 12 years? Well, no, because you haven't been tattooing, and in 12 years, your tattoos are just not gonna look the same.
Yeah.
That's fine, because like in all honesty, like those kind of shops, like that kind of tattooing is not gonna go. But like those are not the clients that I'm after either.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I just like started to like this year, starting off right again. I'm just like looking at the positive things, and I'm just gonna look for the magic.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look for
and
the
that might
magic
mean
because-
firing clients too. Like that, there's no problem with that. Like, yeah, this motherfucker don't
just-
really get it. Like, sorry, dude. Like, go down there and like this person's more suited for
Well,
what you're looking
it's like
for.
being like, why do you want me to do a tattoo like this? Like being like, just you know, like you're not going to a French restaurant to ask for like
Pizza,
a
Yeah.
pizza, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like, just because I'm a restaurant, you know,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because I'm a tattooer, I don't do anything.
Yeah, you're
Like,
coming to
let's
me
just-
because you like what I do, and this is what I do, and you're
Yeah.
asking for something that I don't do. Like,
This is how we do it. I take your idea, and this is how we do it. And this is how I can draw. You want me to draw different, being like, well, that's kind of like asking me to just learn a complete new
yeah,
craft. Like,
or
it's
just like, or do something you're not going to enjoy.
not passionate about. And it's like, this year has been 25 years that I came into the tattoo and piercing world through piercing, and 20 years of tattooing, I think, or no, 17, 18 years of tattooing. So you've seen it like all come back, and you know what's gonna work. I know what works for me, and that's what I want to focus on. And if I've been doing this for 25 something years and I still have debt, and I still don't sit on like a retirement or anything, the next 25 years are not going to change it. And that's all fine too,
Yeah, well,
because
that's the
I
other thing.
love my job.
Yeah.
It allows me to travel. It allows me to meet so many new people. I get to, I never, honestly, I never really feel like I'm a day at work. It's just still like mind boggling to me that this is how I
survive, Yeah.
survive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like being like, I could sit in a cubicle and like, yeah, have a 401k and all of that. But
Or
it's
you could
like,
be tarring a
you know,
roof in Arizona. You know what I mean? Yeah,
fuck that.
In June, you know, like,
it's
fuck.
like too hot.
Yeah, no, I know.
I
That's the thing.
sunburn too easy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it, man, and that's the thing. Like that's what separates the people that'll be here through the hard times, and then the people that are just like, oh, along for the ride. They
And it's kind of beautiful
weed people
too.
out.
Like,
I feel like we're going into that right now, dude. Like,
Well,
there's a
and-
recession coming on, dude. Like, I mean, I'm not even getting into politics or economics and stuff, but there's a vast difference this year. From
well,
last
I mean,
year.
you kind of like feel it already. You see
Yeah.
it everywhere, and it's just like also it's like if we there's so many like, you know, like new businesses that's starting up, because it's also kind of easier than ever, right? It's like being like you've been a tattooer for like a couple of years. It's like, okay, well, you have the funding to rent a place that is like zoned for tattooing. Really, that's all you need. And then it's just like a little bit of time, and you just like open your tattoo shop, and it's just like, okay, 5 years from now, you might not be there. Maybe you are, you know? And there's a lot of clients to go around too. It's just like, I truly just want to focus on my own thing, my own positive thing. And it kind of makes it nicer too, because if I go to like motorcycle shops, it's like I will look for places like this that have that like feeling of like the old motorcycle stuff, and it kind of maybe becomes like a little bit more of a challenge to find those good places as well, you know, like just being like, oh, fuck it, let's just see how many cool like motorcycle shops and tattoo shops we can find in New England, you know, like.
There ain't a lot. There's a lot of tattoo shops. There ain't a lot of cool ones. Like, yeah.
Well, that's why, like, being like, all those shops could be cool tattoo shops if they just buy fucking Tattoo Flash.
There we go.
There you go.
Boy.
There we got the businessman there.
Don't do no cheesy segues, bro. Like, but no.
Like, your tattoo shop could look so much cooler with some Tattoo Flash.
And again, shout out to Johannes and the Tattoo Flash Collective because they helped outfit us at the Dipper. And we get a lot of compliments on the artwork.
That's awesome. I'm fucking stoked with that.
Yeah. Do you have a big array? So I was just like, show me stuff that looks nautical.
Yeah. Well, we actually, like, not to like go completely like on the thing, but like we changed on the website now because, like, obviously when you have like so many products, it's going to be hard, right? Like, I know what Flash Ben Cheese does or like that Rinto does or anything like that, but like somebody might not. So we've been working the last year on like making categories. Our search function in categories. So now you can just type in skull, rose, dagger, and every sheet with a skull, rose, and dagger or combined like images pop up. So it's cool. Just like if you ever want like new stuff for like the Dipper and you just like want to have nautical stuff, you just type in nautical, type in ship, type in titties, whatever you want, and it just pops right up.
Let's dial it back a little bit. Tell people what Tattoo Flash Collective is anyway. So you know what I mean? Like, I know because you're my boy, like, you know what I mean? But but yeah, for someone who's just listening to this. Like,
so Tattoo Flash Collective is basically a site and where we sell Tattoo Flash prints and books from artists from all over the world. Basically that's it. It's really like we have a huge catalog of Tattoo Flash. Rather than selling them in sets where you have to like pay X amount and you get like 20 sheets from one artist, you can just mix and match. You can just like pick one sheet. So the beauty on that is that we
you have a lot of books and shit too.
Yeah, like that's like whenever I took my business partner, my good friend Kent on, like he was like more well-versed in like the books and all of that. So that just opened the whole like thing of like being like, all right, well, if we have the option to just, back in the days, we would have like a lot of line drawing books but they were like spiral bound and they did the trick, but they just didn't have like the look of like an actual book. So we just have like the printers and all of that to just create these books. And it's just amazing that we can just find artists that would love to do a book. They have like amazing work, but somehow like they never had the chance to like release a book or have a publisher do their book. And we're kind of like those. Like we're like being like, I don't care if you have a good name or not. If you have good work, like I would love to do your book. I would love to do your book because you deserve it just as much as the big names kind of thing, right? So it's just like an awesome way of just getting like stuff out there for artists that in a world of today where it is like so hard, where social media is basically almost 60% of your work, where you have to promote yourself so much. It's just a lot easier if one entity, one collective can kind of do it. Because like obviously if you look for like new Tattoo Flash in the shop, instead of like ordering from 30 different artists, like you can just come to our site. You just get it. And we pay artists out. Like they get commission on everything that we sell with their products on there. Yeah. So that's always been like one of the main things.
Because it's by you guys, by tattoo artists for tattoo artists. It's not like some shady dude that came in and was like, oh, I can make money on this.
Nope.
And just doesn't give a fuck. Like
exactly. And it gradually grew. I never knew how big it would get or how like just like it was either going to be constantly a side project or it just like grew kind of like bigger as it does now. And we're not trying to like grow like massively to get like a huge market position. Just like if we grow, we grow. That's cool. But like our main focus is not to make as much money as possible. Let's just get the stuff out there and just
do cool
make
shit.
tattoo shops look fucking cool with Flash,
Now, do you know, like, and you might not, like, I don't know how deep you get into looking at your clientele, like, do a lot of people just order shit for like their house, like that are just random people, or is it mostly tattoo shops and tattoo artists, or do you kind of get an idea of like?
It's a little hard to find because obviously, like when somebody makes an order and it ships to a tattoo shop, we directly know it's like a tattoo shop. But like if you order stuff and you send it to your house, we don't know if it's end up in a tattoo shop or in home.
I get you.
But I know from like the tags that we get, it is actually a massive amount of people that are not tattooers, that are just like enthusiasts.
Fans of the art.
Yeah, because like you just got a new apartment, right? And like you want to have some artwork in your house. Well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to Michael's or fucking any of those turd fucking like dumbass shops and then get like #blessed or like fucking live, love, laugh on your fucking wall. If that's you, cool. You'll never find Tattoo Flash Collective anyway, right? But if you're even slightly like interested in just like art that like is, it's very leaning to tattooing, but we have some artwork too that is like done by tattooers, but is not directly like, a skull and a dagger. It's just like amazing prints. You're just supporting like a local or artist. Just a small artist instead of just some fucking corporate shit that is just like, I'm so sick and tired of like supporting these goddamn big fucking companies.
Or like you're not buying some fucking thing off Amazon. Like,
yeah, it's like just being like, yo, man, you're actually like giving a little bit extra money to this artist. You give a little bit extra money to like the Tattoo Flash Collective to keep things running instead of just, as we know, buy a fucking second house for like somebody kind of thing, And I think that like we hit like that perfect kind of like market in between where we get tattoo shops and we got people that just want stuff in their house and all of that. Like I got some pictures of like fucking like people that send us, their house looks better than some tattoo shops. Their house is just flashed out. They have so many flash and prints and all of that on the wall that I'm like being like, this looks better than any of those dental tattoo shops that we were talking about, you know? So it's really nice to see. And I think that that's like also like just the beauty of it, that like we can just like have like a little bit like more of a strength just offering stuff from like 50 or 60 different artists.
That's what I was gonna, like how many artists do you know you're working with?
I forgot, but I think it's like close to 40 or 50, I think at this point.
What's the biggest print you make? Just out of curiosity. Like
40 by 60.
Okay, so it's not all just flash, like
No, it's not all flash. Like it's like the flash, we do two different things. Like, so we have like standard flash, which is then non-archival as we call it. So if you keep it in the sun, like eventually over 20 years it might fade, but after 20 years it's time for some new flash anyway. We have the archival stuff too that's like more expensive and that like will obviously be pigment based ink, so it will last a lot longer. Then we have prints ranging from 5x7, which is just a postcard site, to like 40x60, which is just like a huge canvas prints and everything in between.
That's cool.
And our printer up in Maine, like Two Crows Printing, like he's been with me from the start. Like, thank God that we can do that because.
And that's the other thing. Everything's printed in the U.S. It's not like printed overseas and brought over.
Everything is printed. We just did a project for Randy Hall, who works at Hero Tattoo. I think you know Jeff Cripp, right?
Yeah.
So he basically works at the second Hero Tattoo.
Shout out to Jeff. Good dude.
What's up,
Another
Jeff?
dude, like, we met him through motorcycles. Like, it was just in the early days of like late 90s, early 2000s, going to motorcycle shows and then finding other dudes that were like in hardcore and stuff. Like, it was like Jeff and his brother, like we clicked up at like one of the old smokeouts or something years ago.
He is a fucking tattooer, man. Like, he is a tattooer through and through. It's like, it's amazing. Like, that guy has just so much passion. And obviously I know more people that way, but Jeff, like, it's just beautiful to see that like people are dedicating their life to their craft and after so many years still love it. But we just did a project for Randy, and that's the only one that the box that those prints come in, we had to outsource overseas. That's the only time like in like almost 10 years that we printed something overseas.
By and large, you're 99.9% all American made, but it's like
I would have loved to have an American made, but then the price would have been just so ridiculous to where it's like, nobody would have bought it, and what good is it doing then? So sometimes you got sometimes you have to, but like we try and avoid it as much as we can. So that's like why I'm up in Maine every now and then, just do the print shop, and it's just in a garage of Days house, and it's amazing. That's the only way that I would want that,
No, that's fucking rad. I didn't realize that. I know you go up to Maine for that, but I didn't know it was
it's a garage, but it's like like freaking
a big steel building. It's not a garage, like a 2-stall little garage.
No, it's like a decent size. It's like enough to like, I don't know, like fucking like I think like 6-7 printers or something like that are like standing there that we do everything on. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah. So.
When I was in high school, like that's what I was in high school for, was graphic arts. Running printing presses, but that's a whole different outdated, like all the shit I learned was so outdated. We were using these like Heidelberg presses. Like I learned how to typeset. Like I could make type out of lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like print with that. And it's like, bro, this is like some like 1700s like shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah. I digress. The printing technology has definitely advanced,
It's kind of crazy too that like we just bought a new printer, and it's like it's a year and a half old and it's already outdated kind of thing. It's like so crazy how fast like those things are like changing. But
yeah. So what's going on with Tattoo Flash Collective? What do you guys got planned? Anything big coming up? And what do you guys do? Do you guys go to a lot of like you still going to a lot of
conventions and all that
and whatnot?
So conventions, it's like we do.
You guys do good at those? Like that must be a pain in the ass. Like that shit must get heavy transporting all that fucking shit.
It's impossible. I bought a pickup truck just for it, and it doesn't even lift it anymore. So, Like so, what you do is like it's like
going through shocks all the time, new shocks.
Yeah, it's just like insanity. So like, luckily we just like rent a U-Haul trailer now, just a trailer to a tow hitch. I guess that's a trailer, just to bring everything. But we wanted to do more conventions, but like. Any convention that we cannot drive to, it's just going to be near damn impossible because we have 3,000 pages of Flash. So if we want to take all that with us, you need at least 2 or 3 of each. So like you're talking 9,000 pages of Flash. Then I don't know how many books we have, but like it's a hard thing because you never know what sells. I mean, obviously the stuff that you bring sells because that's
what people have to choose from. Yeah,
exactly. But like, it's really hard to gauge like the clients that are coming. So the tattoo conventions are good. I mean, it's not like a huge money maker, but it is a more fun way to promote and show face on Tattoo Flash Collective.
Plus, I would assume sometimes people are at a convention, they don't want to buy some shit and have to carry it around, but they'll go order it later.
They go order it later. We can do orders for them right away. We can just like be like, hey, we can just like make the order right now. Once we're back at the print shop, ship it right to your house so you don't have to travel with it. But of course, like every tattoo convention has like a lot of local people coming.
Yeah.
The tattooers come from all over, but mostly the people that are coming are just like locals. And we see that they're there. They want to support local art. They want to support, and they might not be able to get a tattoo, but they can buy a print for $10, $12 or $15 or $50, whatever their budget is. Like we try to stick within that budget. So like financially, like which I don't always find like the most important thing to talk about, but like it's not a home run. But if I take time and money out of my own pocket to promote something, I'd way rather go to a tattoo convention and support that than give $100 to Facebook, right? And do an advertisement kind of thing.
But that's what people, they don't understand about like all these businesses, like everyone's, like we were talking about earlier, people think you own a business. Oh, you fucking rolling, fucking that. It sucks.
Yeah, rolling in debt.
You're rolling in debt.
That's it. Because the bigger you go.
Playing shell games with debt, like I take this from this to pay this, and like hopefully this money comes in that this guy owes me so that I can pay that later this month. And
well, because the bigger you get, the more you need to invest too, right?
Yeah,
because like, okay, we get bigger, but that means that we have to have more book inventory or else we'll just sell out. And then you constantly need new stuff to kind of get to. But like tattoo conventions are like nice. I think it's like very important to show face too. It's like, because like I don't like to put my face on social media directly. It's like I don't directly need the whole world to know my face and that like,
no, you gotta
it's me and
you gotta do a reel when you're
it's
talking to the camera, buddy. Remember?
Yeah.
Were we saying that on mic or off mic? I can't remember.
Off mic, I think.
Okay, yeah, I think
or maybe off.
I don't remember. We were
That's
talking
10
about that
minutes
earlier.
ago, bro. I don't remember that much. But like it is good that like people are like oh shit, like it is actually people that are like involved in tattooing, right? Like it's a tattooer behind it. Kent has been involved in tattooing. Like he's never tattooed, but he's been involved in tattooing for like longer than many people have been tattooing. He did everything like Tattoo Artist Magazine, Illustrated Monthly, all those kind of things. And like when people see that face behind it, it just gives like a little bit more of a legitimacy. Just the same as me. It's like if I need to spend money on something, I know that it's actually going to a person that's within that same subculture, I'm way more likely to jump on it than being like, well, what is this company, you know?
Well, I see Flash for $5 on Amazon.
Yeah, being like, okay, buy that. Probably it's like stolen from us. You know, it's just like, it's crazy. But like, so we do conventions. We do, I think, like 4 in the United States, and then we do 1 in Europe, like the Aachen show. That's like at the moment the only one, because it's like financially, it's just obviously a lot more expensive to do conventions in Europe. But we're scaling up Tattoo Flash Collective Europe too, because of like the whole import cost. Like if you order something from the United States, it gets to Europe, like you pay 20% import tax over there. You know, it's like so crazy that like I was sending my mom a present for Christmas, and she had to pay like import tax over that, and it was a painting. Like they were like, okay, what's the value? Being like, well, there is no value. I made my mom a painting. You know, it's like
$5.
Like, it's a piece of paper, bro. Like 25 cents. I don't know. Like, you know, it's like being like, okay, I painted it. Well, nobody wants to buy an original from me anyway, so it's $0, asshole. So, but like, yeah, I had to pay like $15 to just like get it delivered.
It's
to
worth
her.
less than the postage was. So,
exactly.
Relax.
So
relax on the tax.
But like doing that like in Europe, so shipping it out, and we ship it all out from like Rento's tattoo shop, because obviously when I'm back home, like that's like where I'm like working. So it's just like easy. We can just like ship.
So
it
do you have
from
a whole
there
separate
and all
website for the Europe?
Yeah, we have a whole
that's cool.
separate website for it. So
it's printed and shipped from Europe. So
yeah, it's printed in the Netherlands and shipped out of the Netherlands. So
that's cool.
So yeah, there too. It's like we
in Friesland.
In Friesland, yeah, in
Friesland.
in
Wait, no, let's do it. Let me say it right. How do you say it?
Friesland.
Friesland.
There you go.
All right.
Now you're even like 1% more Frisian already, man. You're getting there.
Fucks up Friesland. I remember when you came on, we had this boost in the Netherlands listeners. It's dwindled, man. So I got to get you on every now and then so we can get those motherfuckers listening.
Well, we can get some more Frisians on, you know, like some Frisian horses, like trainers or something like that. You know, be very interesting.
What did you guys? Wait, no, you got to tell me the story. What did you guys have when you were kids? Did you have ravens or did you have
crows?
Crows. All right.
Yeah.
So tell me
crows.
about these fucking crows again.
We have pet crows, dude. Like it's crazy. It's like just having a pet crow. It's like you were really cool if you had a pet. What do you guys call it? Magpies, like the black and white ones. Like, are
you catching these in the wild, or do you go to the crow store?
So I'm from a town like of 3,000 people. I think like maybe now since I left, it's 3,200. So like people been shagging it up a little bit, you know, over 17 years.
No, once you left, people are like, all right, it's cool to move here now.
Yeah. Being like that,
or because you're the Prince of Friesland, people are like, oh shit, like we got to go where Johannes is from.
Yeah, grow up there, you know, have like Frisian horses in the backyard and all of that. I think, and Tasha knows this better, but I think that the cows, the milk cows, the black and white cows, like those are also from Friesland. I think they
all over the world. They originate from there.
Well, I don't know if they ship them by plane, but like they originated from Friesland. I don't know how they make it.
The black and white cows that are here in the U.S.
I think they're Frisian cows. Yeah, they're Frisian milk cows.
Did not know that.
So in Friesland, from what I understood from Tasha, is like they actually outnumber the people that live there.
Oh, really?
So they could revolt against us and we'd be fucked, you know?
All right. So how does one get acquire a pet crow? Like, is it like some weird fucking old European heathen shit, like pagan ritual stuff, where it's just like it comes to you, like
you got to be in,
on your 12th birthday or something, like the night of your 12th birthday, you have to live in the woods and get an egg or something and nurture the egg.
So we have so many farms that like there is a lot of like ravens and like the ravens and crows, and like whenever like there is a nest and the crow mom or dad, whatever it is, dies, like then like you would get these like baby crows and you would just like kind of like raise them, and they are super intelligent and smart to where like
they love like shiny shit too, right? Like
they bring stuff to you and all of that. But like we just like I think Tasha, like the first time she came, like we went on a bicycle, of course, to like the grocery store. And she was like, "Oh my God!" There was like somebody like has like a raven on their handlebar on their bicycle, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's probably somebody's pet," you know. And she was like, just like thinking I was like jerking her chain, right? Like she was like, "No way," and I was like, "No." And then he came back, and the crow is just like happy, goes sits on his shoulder, and they just cycle through town, right? Like we would have him like also like one of the kids, like he had him. And it would fly with us going to school, like because school was like 10 kilometers like away, so we would go on a bicycle. And this raven was just with him. And then as he was in school, the raven would just like wait and like be around. And then when he come out of school again, he knew that when the bell rang, that's when kids would come out, and he would just sit on his fucking bicycle, you know. And that's like how you go.
It was a raven or a crow?
You
can't remember. So people have both.
Kraai. Tama kraai. So, I think it might be a crow.
Okay.
I would have to do the translation on on like thing, but like it's the crows are the really fat ones and the ravens are the skinnier one. It's the skinnier one.
Okay, I think that's a raven.
That's a raven. Yeah. So
crows are like in the flock, like they're always like fucking around with each other.
Okay, yeah.
Crows are intelligent. They like to play jokes and shit and antagonize motherfuckers. It's funny.
This is like so in Frisian it's tamakraai.
Okay.
So it's a crow. It's most likely is a crow. Like that would like because like raven. I don't know even what that would translate to in Frisian. Okay. But yeah, it's like and
somebody will fact check this and let us know. I know.
Yes, please.
When it gets posted, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, and by the way, it's blah, blah."
And that's not how you pronounce it. Being like, "All right, well, I've been a Yankee for 17 years
relax,
now," you know.
Relax, yeah.
But like my cousin, he was actually really good into taming like crows. So like he would tame them, and then you would be able to get that from him, and it was already tame and all of that.
Yeah,
because it's like it's not like a fucking cat or a dog. It takes like a little bit longer than that. But like it, from what I've heard, it's like dying out a little bit. Like not as many people have tame crows like anymore.
So if you want a Frisian crow, you better get over there quick.
Yeah, man. Like if you
call
want
Johannes'
let
cousin.
me know.
Call Johannes' cousin.
That could be our fifth business, sixth business.
I'll import them. We'll start through the Tattoo Flash, the Tattoo Flash Corrective and Crow Emporium. We'll get them over here for you guys.
There you go. Yeah.
$7,000 is what they start at, ready to roll.
I love it.
Oh shit! No, I want one. So let me know.
Yeah, I know. It's like a very funny thing that like it never dawned on me that was so strange.
Yeah.
Let's say like it was just the most like it's just like, oh yeah, well he has
a crow.
He has a crow. Being like, okay, well you have a dog. He has a crow.
Everybody
what's so
crow,
weird about that, right? Yeah. So. Yeah, it's like some of those funny things that like just like being like, oh, what that is actually really weird because I could not see somebody in Freetown, Massachusetts besides you with like a tame crow.
So what you got to do is next time you're back home, you got to be on a Frisian horse with a crow on your shoulder, with your clog boots or your clog shoes on, and just take the most fucking Dutch picture ever, the most Frisian picture ever. And then that's when you'll be like adorned as like the prince of Friesland.
You know what we should like create though? It's like on the saddle of the Frisian horse. If you can make somehow an attachment to where I have like a little handlebar or something like that.
We'll do that up.
Like so, we'll attach it, and then it's just like being like, "Yo, I'm riding a Frisian horse chopper, man. The chopper head horse."
I've always had this dream for years and. At least the last decade, where I wanted to make a sissy bar on the back of my chopper. It was just in the shape of a T or had a perch on the top and have a bird of prey. Like your buddy, like you said, like that dude did in high school or school where I have just like a hawk or like some kind of eagle or some
just
kind of bird
sticking with you.
And it's just like, how mighty would it be, right? Especially if you had a crew of dudes and everyone had like a sissy bar like that. You throw your hawks up. Get on your bike. Obviously, you're not rolling like highway like crazy, but like you roll down, to the store or the fucking party or the wherever, and everyone parks, and then all of a sudden out of the sky, all these birds of prey come and just land on the right sissy bar. Like, that's the mightiest fucking thing ever.
That would be awesome. Can
that's why I need to
Can I get a
become-
parrot?
Yeah, whatever.
Hell yeah.
But that's why I need to become a billionaire so I can just make dumb shit like this happen. Like, because that would take a little bit of time and effort, but we could do that.
Yes,
for sure.
and becoming a billionaire. I mean, it's as easy as just buying the right lottery ticket. I just refuse to buy the right lottery ticket and go the hard way.
Or just
you know?
investing, just investing the right, like finding the right fucking sketchy person with insider information that's going to give you tips on how to invest right. I don't know any of them guys. I know guys that can do, you need some dirt done. I got that. I got
everything.
That. I got that reach. I got reach for dumb shit, but I don't got reach for like real money shit. You know what I mean?
You got somebody. If you want a pet crow, we know somebody. But if you want insider trader information, we're out, man.
I'm
like,
twice
that's not
removed
us.
from a Frisian crow trainer, right? But I'm like, yeah. Nobody I know is successful in the stock market.
So but like on the traveling, so we do like a bunch of like tattoo conventions here. What we want to do, it's like I try to like because I have so many ideas, I just don't have the time to do everything.
Dude, that's my life. Yeah.
And I learned to kind of shut up about ideas that I have because there's other people that have more time or no side projects.
More
That's
time
just
and no
like,
ideas that are like, oh shit, I'll do that.
That's a good idea. I can do that right now.
I know right now
you know?
some motherfucker's already training a fucking hawk to land on. He's making the sissy bar and he's fucking gonna do it. And I'm gonna be like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Because I'm gonna be jealous. Like, that's the only reason.
So, but like what I would like to do is we want to do a little bit more like pop-up events.
Yeah.
To where if like a tattoo shop has like a flash weekend or like anything like that, to where we can just be there. Obviously, we have such a large amount of flash that like people could either pick from that, but just like we just want to be present or seen in the tattoo world kind of thing, you know?
I have the idea for you. When I was a kid in my neighborhood, when we moved from New Bedford into Dartmouth, there was the neighborhood that we lived in. They had this thing called the Bookmobile, and I remember it was like
it like a little old like UPS truck kind of thing?
Yeah, it was something like a UPS truck thing. Once a week, it would come, and it was like a little library, and you could take a book out and then bring it back the next week. So you have the tattoo flashmobile, and you just drive around the tattoo shops. And it's like one of those things with a sliding door or open door on the side. You can just open it up right on the side.
I love it.
And all your flash is inside, but you have like books or whatever for reference. And someone's like, I want G10. And then you just go into the back and you pick out G10 and be like, here's your flash.
What about a crow picks the G10?
Or you say G10 and then the crow flies in the back. But there's not a lot of flying room in the back of this. You just get,
That's true, but
you get like
crows
the
hop.
transit van like we have, and you just fucking outfit it with a bunch of shells, and then you're ready to roll.
If I was, and not that age like should like limit anybody, but like it.
If you were like 35 with not as much going on.
No, probably 20s.
Yeah.
If I was 20s, I would have loved something like that and go cross country.
Yeah, because it used to be a girl that used to come to you know what I'm talking about. She used to come to all the tattoo shops and sell flash and books.
Wendy Belzell.
Wendy, yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
Wendy
out to
Belzell.
Wendy.
It's like shout out to her. She
haven't seen her in a long
she sells
time.
all our books. You know, she has all our books. Like she wholesales them. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. That's how I got to know her when I worked in San Diego. I don't think I've ever met her in Tucson or Denver, where I lived for a little bit. But San Diego, that's like where I first started meeting her. And
Yeah, she used to go cross
that's like 2006, 2007. Yeah. So like that's how long I've already know her. And she'd go cross country. And like it will be a perfect thing for Tattoo Flash Collective to do. It's just I don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
Plus, she still has somebody on the road. And it's kind of like one of those things being like, okay,
That's her thing, yeah.
It's her thing.
I just haven't seen her in years. I didn't know if she was still doing it.
I don't think that they come up to New England that often. So, and like, I wouldn't mind doing it in New England because I could do it as a weekend kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
I could go just Burlington, up to Burlington, Vermont, stop by Brattleboro and stop by a bunch of shops. And it's like, I mean, we're a New England company, right?
Yeah,
being like, it's just like one of those things that I would love to do something like that. It's just that I don't have the time for it. Neither does Kent, and we don't have the money to pay somebody to do it. Yeah. But like that is like one thing. Like we just want to like support like these smaller kind of like just events, right? Like how you go to like chopper events and you just like bring a chopper and show what you're doing. It's just being part in the community, being, you know, giving back giving back to the culture and all of that. Like, so that's like one like big one that I want to do. The first one actually we're doing is in March somewhere in the Netherlands at Rinto shop.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do on Saturday. We are going to do a walk-in day where we just tattoo. Sunday we do the same thing, walk-in day, but like a lot of tattoo shops are closed on Sunday, so that's like when we just do a pop-up event for Tattoo Flash Collective, put all our books out, all our prints out, and that's like hoping that like just other tattooers come by. Just make it kind of a cool like little event, you know.
Man.
It's one thing that I want to do in Boston too, because obviously that's like, you know, my studio is basically the headquarters of Tattoo Flash Collective, so everything that we have is stalled there. Just do cool little things, have some live music and all that
at your studio.
Yeah, this is a perfect way to like try these kind of things out, you know.
Yeah.
So if I only have like a little bit more time here and there to like arrange that, but
yeah. Or just finding a weekend that you're not already like booked solid and whatnot, and that you're not traveling. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the traveling is, you know, it's like it's a beautiful thing too. It can stress you out sometimes, you know, like as far as like being like, man, my schedule is so crazy. But like, again, like how beautiful is it that I can just like travel back home, see my family, and just still do my job,
and make
you know?
money, and it pays for the trip.
Yeah, it pays for the trip. It's like you're not coming back with any money, but it pays for it. And how many people can say that they just went to the Netherlands for like 2 weeks and just, you know, like kind of broke even? You know? So
it didn't come out of pocket. Yeah. When you went to Greece, you weren't tattooing, right? That was just to go to Greece.
That was just to go to Greece. Yeah, that was like one of the few vacations that like I did not. Well, no, the first couple of days we were in it was kind of like a very funny thing, like with like people like in our party that we traveled with, the family of Tasha, like got sick and got COVID. So it was like slightly different than it was, but like I did not do a single drawing. And that was probably one of the first times that 3 weeks I was just like, I don't even want to draw anything.
Yeah.
I
That
didn't
probably
even grab
recharged the
my
batteries
iPad.
a little bit then, right?
Oh, it was amazing because like right after that, I flew to Denmark to do the 40-year anniversary party of Henning with my buddy Brian. And then from there, I went to the Netherlands and then to Germany to do the conventions and all of that. And it's just like amazing. Like 3 weeks of no work, just beaches and like Athens, and we saw turtles. I got sunburned, amazing food. And then just like all these like events like right after where it just charges you up. Every time I go to a convention, well, to the good conventions, because like there's so many conventions now too, obviously, but like the good conventions for me are like when you come back and you're just like, fuck, I gotta step it up because like there's so much good stuff out there, and it's just you don't feel like you're not good enough, but you just feel inspired. You just are like, I don't know, you might have that when you go to like a chopper show and you see so much stuff to where you're not like, oh, I'm making a lesser product. No, not at all. It's just like you're charged and you're like enthusiastic to just like, you know, get at it again.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm gonna be quite honest, I gotta find that again because I just find them. I'm like, I get caught up in the dumb shit, and I'm like, yeah, this all sucks now. But I still love it. You know, obviously I wouldn't be here if I didn't love it. But I'm not super stoked right now. But we're about an hour in, and so this was introduced on our initial podcast.
Oh, the grab bag.
The mystery bag of nips, or the mystery bag of shooters, or
it became a plastic bag instead of a brown bag.
Airline bottles, or whatever you call them. The little individual. So I'm gonna let you.
And like these are like the worst ones ever.
No, I don't know. These aren't the ones. Dan just got me for Christmas, like a fucking massive bag. Did you look in there, or did you just grab one?
I just grabbed the top one, but I didn't know what I grabbed. But it's a classic Fireball one.
All right, because that's the rule. You can't look. I'm not looking.
Okay.
I'm just getting the bag open because it's in a bag within the bag. But I have a massive bag that's gonna last us like the whole fucking year.
That's like good that I didn't
got
like.
the-
You got the McGilligutties.
Yeah, sugar bomb.
That's like good that I didn't get some because I was gonna grab like a whole bunch of them. I was just being like, Tattoo Flash Collective can be the grab bag like sponsor as well.
No, Dan got me this massive. It's like literally 10 pounds of them. It's fucking crazy. It's at the tattoo shop.
Cheers.
Right now. Cheers.
We're too
buddy.
far. We're at a Viking
cheers.
table.
All right. Yeah, there you go.
Gross. Oh, that makes your nipples fucking hard, bro.
Oh, what do you have? A Red Bull and vodka, and then a
Red
Fireball
Bull
to
and
wash it
vodka.
down.
It's like funny because I hardly ever drink. It seems that like the only people that get me to drink is like if you get me on a podcast kind of thing. So I guess I got to loosen up.
Yeah, man. I am drinking Tito's and Orange Cream Ghost.
Oh yeah, you have that bad energy drink. Well,
That's
not that mine is that much fucking better, but
the
like
Ghost is like the bottom of the barrel of energy drinks. I don't know how I got it, and then this McGilligutties is
because it tastes good. That's why.
yeah, it's all right.
That's
Yeah.
why we have it. But yeah, I think that like if we focus on like the positives, it's like you can kind of it's good. I like to focus on the negative because I like to complain, and it's good sometimes. But like I think that there's a lot of fucking cool tattooers out there. There's a lot of good flash painters. There's a lot of good like bike builders out there.
Yeah,
that, like,
absolutely.
do have that
No.
passion, and it's just like fucking shed out the fucking shit stains of the fucking industry.
The good thing is that right now, I think we're going into economic hard times, and that's going to shake the fair weather motherfuckers out. It's just that like a lot of the bike world got co-opted by like Harley sponsoring shit and this and that, and it just brings a different element and vibe to it. And there's a lot of people that are in positions that they just were in the right place at the right time. But I don't know, man. Like it's just there's no shortage of cool bikes, and that's what keeps me going. Like I love like I don't like the scene as much as I used to. I think it's been watered down and infiltrated and fucking co-opted and fucking abused and fucking raped.
Yeah.
But a good bike is a good bike, and I don't care who fucking built it. Like I give respect to like if something's done well and executed well, I do love that, and and that's what keeps me around.
And I think it's almost like being like if I think back to when for myself then when I got into like punk and hardcore, it's like how it was like. It wasn't like Spotify, like, right? Like we had to go, like I was lucky that where I went to, like I think it's your equivalent of like high school. Like it was in a town where there was one record store and he was like pretty well known for his metal and hardcore kind of collection, right? So every like school break, I could just go there. And you know how we would like
we had the same thing. That like I went to New Bedford Vogue, and right down the street there was a place. A dude had a record store. There was like a record store and a hot dog store, and everyone would go to the hot dog store. But we go in the record store, and I still remember like records that he had in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, like some of the bands that I remember, it's like I remember one time because like he eventually would know like these 14-year-old kids like coming and being interested in fucking hardcore and all that.
So
like,
he knew what to start.
So he knew when our breaks were, and he would just like have like new ones. And then like we had like the metal magazine Aardschok where Anno Chromag like did like the reviews for.
Shout out to Otto Chromag, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And it was like funny because like there was a record that came out, and I don't know, we could look back the years, but I think I was like around 15, and it was, it said Biohazard, and then it said Sick of It All. So I thought, like I knew Biohazard, and I thought that they had a new record out that was called Sick of It All, right? Like made sense. No, it was the Sick of It All Scratch Service. And he was like, Johannes, you got to listen to this, So that's how I got introduced to like Sick of It All. And it's still till today my all-time favorite hardcore band, like hands down, just because of that nostalgia. But like we had to, like we would look through like the thanks list and all of that to just like find like new bands and all of that. Yeah. And I think that like in tattooing now too, it's like I love it when somebody introduces me or tags me into like somebody's post.
Yeah.
That is a good tattooer that I might not have seen. And like it's kind of like ridiculous because like obviously first we would look through like magazines and find tattooers, but like it's our job to like we can make good people get the attention that they need. Like that's like what I want to focus on social media is like being like, yo, motherfucker, y'all are
Check
in
this
like
dude, or
fucking
check
chopper.
her out.
You're into choppers. Check these motherfuckers out, you know? Because like the sad thing is that like if you need to get the algorithms on your site, it is so much work that you and I don't have that time for it.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's what I'm saying.
there
There's
is some
people whose job is that, right?
and
We
there's
talked
some
about that.
businesses that just have $10,000 a month allocated towards that. And those are the choppers you see. But it's like being like, okay, well, fuck it. Let's use Instagram as a thank list, dude. Like, I want
Hey, that's
to
a good
make
way to
sure.
look at it. Yeah, that's a good way,
it's like being like, if that's how we did it with fucking hardcore, being like, okay, well, now instead of looking through a CD booklet, being like, all right, well, I'm going to use Instagram to promote my fucking friends like Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, like, because you're already through the algorithms are going to find the shit stains of the fucking industry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the wet wipe of the fucking industry. Fuck that. Shit stains are going to be there.
Yeah.
I'll be the wet wipes to fucking wipe those shit stains
And then
off.
I'm going to be the dry wipe that follows it up. That's a little more rugged and a little more abrasive
like
about it. Like
1,000 grid or 800 grid kind of thing.
abrasive
to just
dry
like-
wipe.
Yeah. So it's like, but I think that like
No.
it takes time, but like if we're on there already, we might as well just promote like our friends and all of that, you know? And
But I think we kind of do that anyway. But
we do, absolutely. And I think that like, but like if you, I think if we all do that like a little bit more, like it's just, it does, you're on there already. You're looking at a hot chick with some fucking tattooed titties already because the algorithms say that you should look at that. Well, I might as well crush that and tell people to fucking check this.
You know how like if you go to that Instagram page and it shows you like things that it thinks you want to see? Literally mine is like choppers, maybe some tattoo stuff, and fucking raccoons.
And-
It's all raccoons, like raccoons doing fucking funny shit, dude. Like I'm like, I will have one before I die. A raccoon and a crow, like, you know what I mean? Before
There you go.
I die.
Well, it's like funny too because like when you look at like your Explorer page, you know, it's like being like, well, why is this all popping up? Is because you look at it.
Oh,
bro.
I do, dude. I
mean,
go down rabbit holes of fucking raccoon stupidity, dude, like all the time.
Yeah.
That shit makes me laugh. That's why, because they're little fuckers. Like,
oh, it's like I would love to see you have one. I would love to. You can have a raccoon here, and then like being like, well, maybe we'll just like we'll ask Rinto if he can have like a fucking chopperhead crow or something. Like if we cannot import it, you know?
yeah, I feel like getting a bird over would be very traumatic to the bird. I don't think it's
Not if they're young.
yeah.
Like right? I don't know. I've never been a bird in my
Why
life.
is
you
it
know?
Rento
I've been a
that-
lot of things.
Is
but-
he does the crow stuff?
I don't know if Rinto actually ever had a crow, but
okay.
like he's from an area
Where they
that
do
like
that.
there is no fucking way that he did not know somebody
Yeah,
that had a
okay,
tame fucking
okay,
crow.
right.
Like it has to be.
You just gotta
like,
hit your cousin up, get him back in the business.
oh my god, that would be fucking hilarious if I'm just being like, yo
Hey,
man,
we got this
name
thing-
your price,
We got
dude.
this
Like,
thing going on. We need like 3 a month. Like, what do we gotta do? How are we doing this?
I don't know if you and I are ready for a new business venture again. You know, I was
Something
like,
that ridiculous. I think I would just end up having like 15 of them here because like just cause.
we'd like change the whole ecosystem
Yeah.
of like fucking New England
Well, that's the
because
thing, right?
we
Like-
imported crows.
Yeah, like I don't. That's what I mean. There's like a whole level of like craziness, like importing animals. I don't think it's super easy. Like,
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, like freaking hell, if like seeds already are hard to fucking bring, I think.
but
an
if you're
animal, like-
if you're a crow trainer in the U.S. and then give us a shot. We'll talk.
yeah, let's find one. Let's find one. That's gonna be our goal for 2024. Find a crow trainer.
A crow trainer in the U.S. Hit us up if you got somebody, and we'll figure something out. They can sponsor. Give me a crow, and I'll give you a free sponsorship for the whole year of the podcast.
I love it. Love it.
I don't know. So you, how was the? I don't think we talked much because you guys were so fucking beat when you got back. But like, how was the Terlingua bike run, man?
It was one of my favorite fucking trips in the last 10 years, probably. It was like that road trip that you had when you were like kind of like in your 20s, like, you know, when you would just go like see a hardcore show or something or go on tour. It was insanity that my mileage on the motorcycle was 20 miles more to go from Lynn to Chopperhead and Chopperhead back than what we were actually able to ride in Terralingua just due to like weather and like an unfortunate like accident
yeah.
and all of that.
What motorcycle did you bring? Did you bring your FXR?
I brought the FXR. Yeah.
That's right.
I was just like being like, all
I
right.
fucking loaded it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like being like, all right, let me take the FXR on this one instead of the Dyna. Like the FXR, I got like, and I haven't really ridden it yet because like last year I had a lot of travels and then we had like a really shit kind of like summer.
Yeah, it literally just, it rained. There was only, what was it, 2 or 3 weekends where it didn't rain. And all of this, the whole summer.
And I think that those are the 3 weekends that I actually was in America, in New England.
Yeah.
So it was like horrible. Like what we had like a few bike nights and that's like about it. But like that trip, I told Tasha too when I came back, it's like when the accident happened and when the Boston guys basically got rerouted and being like, okay, let's go to Chicago to just like help somebody out, you know, and just like bring them back. Like, if you want to sit in like a car with Pat, Chris, and Lenny with broken ribs, good fucking luck. Because I actually had like pain in my stomach, like I freaking worked out just because of laughing.
Oh, dude,
like you cannot sit in a freaking car with like New England, fucking with Boston guys and not laugh your ass off. It was just like, it was like stomach ache kind of like pain, like just so fucking fun. Like that was the whole like thing. The trip there was just like crazy. I think we did 5,300 miles, something like that in like 5 days.
No, you guys, it only took like 2 or 3 days to get there.
Well, to get there and then to back as well, right?
Like the whole trip was
I think the whole trip was 5,300 miles with their detour because like I might have done a calculation wrong when we were like, okay, well, it makes more sense to go to El Paso, and then the weather didn't like allow us to go through like some mountain passes, so we had to go like all the way backtrack and all of that. I think we did 5,300 miles to ride the motorcycle for 98 miles.
Oh, the whole ride was only 100 miles?
The whole ride. Like it took me 120 miles to get the bike here loaded up and get back. And it was 98 miles and it was worth it. Yeah. Every fucking single mile.
But like, yeah. So like I talked to people like roughly about it, but like, you know, what was the ride like? It was just mountain roads?
Yeah, it was like mountain roads, but it's like, I forgot like the river that like was there, but like the terrain was like absolutely gorgeous, but because like they get so little rain, and just that weekend that we were there, it was raining, so like roads were flooded. There was a lot of mud on the roads and like little like loose gravel, like rocks, which obviously is not a thing that you want to have on like a motorcycle. Scenery was absolutely gorgeous. I wish that like we could go back again and just actually see, because we didn't even ride the national park just due to like circumstances and all of that. I don't know. I don't think that I've ever seen just scenery like that. Like, you know,
plus it's so remote.
amazing.
Like when that accident happened, it took like 2 hours for the ambulance to even come, right?
Yeah, we didn't even have signal. Yeah. Like, so we couldn't even call like an ambulance. I think like that it was like just like two guys like went. Two guys went forwards, 2 guys went backwards, one to like pick up like obviously the truck so we could trailer the bike away, and then the other one to just call out like for like help and all of that.
Yeah,
there was just no
bananas.
cell phone signal at all. So like, you're sitting there and you're waiting hour and a half, 2 hours just on like an ambulance to show up. And then when we were all like trailing back, like an other bike broke down. So then we stood there, and then me and Marky from Arizona, we rode the bikes back to where we were staying, to the campground, to grab like some tools to fix the bike. But yeah, that was not happening. So we were just like, okay, let's just trailer it. So we missed the whole barbecue kind of thing too. But like all in all, it was amazing. It's just like, I think that like if you schedule like road trips like that, right? It's like almost like going on tour with a band, like being like, it's the unexpected that like make the stories.
Sure,
kind of thing,
absolutely.
You know, like that's like, yeah, it's unfortunate, but like that's like 20 years from now, you'll still remember that.
Yeah. No, I love that shit. I was so fucking pissed that we couldn't go. One, my dog's dying, but two, we had these two motherfuckers that walked out on us at the bar the week we opened the kitchen, and like we just couldn't fucking go, man. Like it was supposed to be all set, like, you know what I mean? And they walked out. They worked there all the work up to the opening. The first week was hectic, as we all knew it was going to be, and then starting the second week it got better, you know what I mean? And they were like, "Oh, this is too crazy," blah blah blah, and they left, walked out on us, very shittily. Fuck them motherfuckers. Yeah, man. Yeah, I resent it
those
more
are
because
those unexpected things that like you never know, right?
yeah,
like being
but that's like I was the only thing in life I was looking forward to was that fucking trip.
Yeah. I was super stoked you guys had me on because like that trip, like I said, it was just hilarious. I still have pictures on there, like, and it's just like, to anybody that wasn't there, it might not even seem that funny, but like it just like was a chain of event, like of like having to like detour completely to El Paso to get somebody like on a plane that was in a hospital, and then running out of gas, and Lenny stepping out of the car after so many hours of driving and sitting in a puddle of fucking just mud and his whole socks and everything. It's just like, I don't know. And somehow we ended up in the same gas station where we were like 3 hours ago.
yeah.
It's just, it was hilarious. It was just like so much fun. It's like made you kind of feel young again. You know, I mean, it took me a while to get back on like being like shit, you know, like
back on track.
5,300 miles in 4 or 5 days, you know, and like, yeah, it took me a while to be like, all right, like I think I caught up on sleep and all of that. But
the other thing is when you're on the road like that hard with no like stopping and just driving, like you get out of like regular life, like, and just like the routines of regular life, and it's like you just like a nomad, like, you know, just wild. And it's like, and then getting back into regular life and regular society sucks. You're like, this sucks. Fucking.
That beanbag that we had, that you were like, just bring the beanbag, man. Like that was like probably the best decision that we fucking did, because like that, like I didn't even think that the drive was that crazy, because like with 4 people being able to drive,
it's not bad.
The unfortunate thing was that like when we drove all the way to Texas, like the best routes that like are scenic were all done at night. So like we didn't see like the mountain ranges. So I just saw some flat fucking land where I'm like being like the gas station is like just functions as everything. It's like your urgent care. It's your pizza shop. It's your fucking like whatever kind of thing. You know, that's what we saw. But like all those beautiful mountain passes, like we were just kind of like, you know, pitch black.
Yeah.
You know? So, but like it's definitely like some of those things that like I think it's good to do sometimes, because it like brings you out of like your regular kind of, you know, like daily like life, and just like being like, get the fuck out and do something crazy, you know, like drive like freaking 5,300 miles to go 98 miles on a motorcycle. Why not?
Yeah, but those are 98 awesome miles with a bunch of good dudes.
That's it. I mean, you saw the little video that we made of it, and it was like amazing. It was just like super fun, and it's like, it was 100% fucking like worth it.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure out something for next year. Christian Christian's a good asset on road trips. Me and him drove cross country at least 6 or 7 times.
Well, he's the night guy, you know. Like he's like,
he'll take the 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift of driving. Yeah.
Yeah, I was stoked on that. I mean, okay, like I'm good to stay awake a long time if I have to, but like, you know, like I do like my 12 a.m. is kind of my call time, you know, and like being like, all right, it's time for bed. Like I think my eyes are closing a little bit, little more and more. So it's the first time I saw Buc-ee's, like one of those crazy ass like fucking gas stations in Texas and all of that.
Yeah, Buckeyes or Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's or something like that. Yeah, like you see some crazy shit on the road. That's like, to me, like the beauty of America. It's just like so unbelievably big, and you should see some crazy shit. And it's just like so many remote areas that like you just don't see in Europe that much.
The thing is, going on road trips like that, cross-country road trips, like even like 10, 15 years ago was a lot different than now. Because, you know, like you've been around in the country for a long time.
Yeah, I've been since 2006. So
like now it's getting more whitewashed, where you just go and it's like, even you can be in the littlest fucking town in the middle of nowhere, and it'll be like a Starbucks and this and that. I'm like, I don't want to see this shit. Like, let's see some cool local shit. You know what I mean? And you get some of that, but it's getting less than it used to be.
That's like one thing that like sometimes it's like being like, okay, well, life is what it is, right? And like a trip like that, you wish that you just had time for 2 weeks to say like, you know what, we're gonna fucking go, we're gonna stop here,
go see
stop
these
here,
motherfuckers,
stay here for a day, go there, go there. But like, you know, the reality of it is like we just have too many businesses, like too much like business to like
everyone's gonna work.
Take 2 weeks off. It's like I wish I could, you know,
Yeah.
but like it's just not in the book sometimes, and it's fine too, you know. Like that's why I think it's important that you do what you love, because you're gonna fucking spend some time on it. So like you might as well do something that you're like actually like passionate about.
Absolutely, man. What else going on, dude?
Man, like, okay, so we've few little travels, tattoo conventions. Honestly, I think it's like exact, like a replica of 2003, just like maybe like different places and all of that. So I'm gearing up to where it's like I said, like the 5-year anniversary. I have no idea yet what I want to do with that, but I want to do something special at least, you know?
Yeah.
For the rest, I'm just trying to like enjoy life and, you know, like we see enough hardship of like that, like, life could be over in a heartbeat. So just, you know, like I'm not trying to live that life anymore to just like try and save up as much money as I can to hopefully make it till retirement age, because it's just not like, you know what, if I need to be a Walmart greeter at 75, fuck it. I got some stories, but at least I lived it up in my 40s, you know?
And
like,
you know what? And you know what? It's not the worst thing. Like, getting out of the house and being 75 and still working. Like, I know that seems like weird to some people, but I'm like, yo, you die when you're not doing shit. Like, when you're inactive, like, that's when you're going to die. I'm going to work. I know I'm literally going to work to the fucking, I'll probably die at work. You know what I mean? Like,
I think retirement would be great if I want to work, but like you don't financially have the stress of like making a shit ton of money. It's being like, I mean, how beautiful could it be that like you're retired, but you still come to Chopperhead and just like build bikes kind of thing, you know? It's like being like, why would you want to stop that? And it's like, just, I don't know. It's like I'm bored already if I'm off an afternoon, and you know I'm trying to find things to do already.
If I have a day off,
like,
I don't know what to fucking do with myself. Like,
no, it's like
I don't have one of those. But if I did, like, if I'm sick, like, I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
just being like take some fucking NyQuil so I can sleep it off, and then at least I'm like better again to like do some like fun stuff. So I've been picking up like I've been like making an effort into, because you know how it is that like you just like are so busy, right? And your brain is so occupied with just you kind of have that same. It's like you always have ideas. It's just like, you know, which ideas come to fruition and all of that. And I started getting like into kind of like a habit or like a flow of like, all right, I wake up at 7 a.m, I get my breakfast, I walk to work. It's like a 25-minute walk. So that's absolutely fucking amazing. I walk to work, I get like a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of exercise. And then I'm like in the shop from 9 a.m. to like mostly 9 p.m. Then I come home, I shower, I eat something, and I sit in front of the fucking TV and I draw and repeat. And that's like a cycle that I'm trying to break of like, I just don't want to be glued to the goddamn TV.
Yeah.
So I just set up the house again to where like on the coffee table or dining table, whatever it is, it's just like I have my paintings ready. So like whenever I come home and I do have time, I like to draw on paper still, rather than on the iPad. And the iPad is, goddamn, it's fucking nice. It's like you don't have to like freaking like print everything out and resize everything. So there's a lot of beauty to it. But like I found,
especially
like,
when you're like, I mean, if you're painting something or trying to do some flash, that's different. But like if you're trying to draw a tattoo and put it on somebody, like just being able to resize it right there, or just like, oh, I just want, like, if these eyes were a little bigger, like little things in it, like you're not starting from scratch again.
Being like, motherfucker, you really want me to do this whole drawing again because this flower needs to be 10% bigger? Fuck, you know? And that's so composition wise, I love to do it on the iPad. I know that like, and it's to each their own. However, it works, right? If it works for you, fucking use it to your advantage. To me, the thing that I did not like about it is that like instead of sitting behind a table and actually be present in the moment of like the drawing or the painting, I would just sit on the couch because it's an iPad, right? You can sit on the couch and I would just like draw and all of that.
You're not spilling anything,
like, It's like, fuck, man. And it's like, I cannot tell you what I watched yesterday. It's just
background.
It's just diarrhea. Like fucking Netflix is just diarrhea after diarrhea. It's just fucking bullshit. You know, it's like, so I'm a YouTube guy. It's just like being like, I don't need Netflix to have my fucking views. I'd rather have fucking some chopper fucking builds, like get my fucking like views, you know? At least it's like being like, it's people that create content to entertain me. I'd rather watch that and just like actually draw by hand and paint by hand again and just like be a little bit more present in the whole process of building something, like building a tattoo out and all of that. So that's like one thing that because like last year was the first time in my tattoo career that I did not paint a single flash page.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like crazy to think that since 2007, 2006, that's the first time in a whole year that I did not do a single flash page. And it's like something that like, it was good because I was busy with other project, but it's something that I actually really like to do. So I'm just like being like, okay, I just got to set time apart. And where can I take time away? I cannot take time away from like drawing of clients, right? Because they pay good money for it and they respect all that time in the world. I cannot take time away from like Tattoo Flash Collective because we made that promise to the artist to make that what it is. So then there were two aspects that I could take time away from: social media, as far as like Black Stallion goes, and then like just watching TV. Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, well, those are the two things that I really don't give a fuck about in my life. So. You know, like I just started like making a conscious decision of like being like, all right, let me just like be more aware of that. I mean, 2 months from now, ask me the question again because I might like fall back every now and then into old quote unquote habits or something like that. You know,
have you done a flash drawing in 2024 already?
Well, it's funny that is it snowing outside?
Yeah, that's what I keep looking at. I'm like, good thing you didn't take the bike down. It was like 50 degrees 2 hours ago, and now it's snowing hard. Like I'm looking out. I'm looking at your truck out in the front there.
Man, True just like offered me to ride his fucking like motorcycle here, and I'm on like I'm hate to say it, but I'm on Crocs and all of that, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll ride your motorcycle on Crocs, but we should have done that before the fucking like thing. But so yeah, my brain doesn't always benefit like of what I want to do. It's just like I'm scatterbrained, like ADHD, like fucking crazy. So the way that I do flash pages is like I just have multiple half-finished flash pages, either line drawings or they're like halfway shaded black or some of the green is in there. And then I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I got to do something else. And then I start something new. So I have about 10 that are like ready kind of to go that I'm like, all right, I want to make an effort. And like 2024, I have to do at least 1 or 2 pages because I cannot run the biggest flash company and not be fucking creating flash. But again, I'm looking at the positive parts of it. That just means that like TFC and Black Stallion has kept me busy enough to where I couldn't paint, you know? So it is what it is.
Oh yeah, man. Well, where can people find? I know you've been taking a social media break, but I know you're coming back. So why don't you tell people where they can find more information? And I'll put all this in the show notes, so you don't. So if you're driving right now, you don't have to remember it. But
So Black Stallion Tattoo is my tattoo page. You can find everything about on like what I'm up to with the shop and all of that and travels. Tattoo Flash Collective is like the main Tattoo Flash Collective page. We have a Tattoo Flash Collective Europe page. I think it's Tattoo Flash Collective _ Europe.
Okay. That's important. We got European listeners.
Yeah, and it's like it's obviously like the main page covers already Europe and all of that, but like we want to, if I have like a little bit more time on the social media thing, like we want to just like promote like a little bit more specialty, like, you know, exclusive European content on that one. So those are the three main pages. I have like a motorcycle page too, but I don't do too much with that. It's
617 gold member.
617 _ gold member, I think. And then I have Johannes _ Black Stallion Tattoo as my quote unquote private page. But I don't have enough time to update all of those. So it's just more that like the motorcycle page is awesome because like I tend to go on there when I want to watch motorcycle stuff, and like the algorithms don't favor like tattoo on there.
Sure,
So it's just like I could just be like, all right, I just need to take a break from like seeing tattoos. I just want to see like motorcycles. That's like when I go on there. And then I since I don't want to put too much private stuff on my tattoo page and all of that, I have like the Johannes Black Stallion tattoo page. It's just I think the last time that I updated that is when Lanny took me to a soccer game, like the New England Revolution. And I mean that's been too long ago already too, you know. But
no, I kind of remember that one when I haven't seen it in a while. So yeah, so at Black Stallion Tattoo, at Tattoo Flash Collective, and TattooFlashCollective.com and BlackStallionTattoo.com.
Well, yeah, and like funny thing is that don't go directly to BlackStallionTattoo.com because I lost the password to the updating thing, and the guy that built the site, I cannot reach him anymore, and he is registered as the manager, so it's like I can't get into my own website. So my website still has old shit on there.
Yeah, so just go to the Instagram.
Has like a misspelling on the email address, which is like, I'm very professional, guys. Like very, you know, it's like I can't even access it.
All right.
So if you know anything about like fucking websites and how the fuck I can get my website back, let me know, because But like, luckily, I have such a solid like clientele that like supports me. That like the website not functioning like has not like really been. But
I don't think people are really checking regular websites anymore. Anyway, it's all social media, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't even blame them, right? Because it is easy. It's like I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm on it already anyway. That like it's just easier for me to shoot you a message on DM real quick, you know. So like a lot of people are like, don't DM, no blah blah blah, and it's like I'm like, well, it's easy. I do the same thing, so fuck it, you know. Like if I do it, means that like the general quote unquote public does it too, which is like fine. It's like a quick, easy way of communicating with each other. But yeah, like the website, I think that it's good to have one. But like the TattooFlashCollective.com website, that's the one you want to go to, kind of like, you know, like that's the one that's updated fucking daily, basically.
Fuck yeah, man. All right.
And then, do we want to tell people about like the discount code for like the podcast, or are we gonna do that in another one?
No, yeah, absolutely. And we're gonna record a little commercial too. So
boy!
If you use the promo, if you go to TattooFlashCollective.com and use the promo code Big Truth, you get 10% off your order. If you are a Patreon subscriber, we will be making an announcement on there because you get more of a percentage off. So join Patreon and get even more money off.
Join Patreon and support a local guy instead of like your fucking Target guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, fuck yeah, bro. Let's wrap this up, and we will.
I gotta get pizza from the Dipper.
Yeah, we'll head over there right now.